Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2020-2021 Virtual Prize Award Ceremony. I, your Deputy Dean for Undergraduate Student Matters, Timothy Afonso, Dr. Justin Koo, Deputy Dean for Graduate Matters, and Ms. Renisha Hodge, Administrative Assistant, will be your hosts for this evening's proceedings. Let me say that we are extremely proud of all our students, and we have quite a show ahead. To start things off, let's hear from our newly appointed Dean, Professor Raphael Hefferon.
Welcome. It is a pleasure to address you on this great occasion and celebratory evening. It really is a great way to welcome you into 2022 in January by celebrating success. For the first time in a long time, we can really begin to look forward to life. All the global evidence points to COVID-19 and its variants getting weaker. Hopefully that continues and we can return to normality very soon. There is still obviously much concern, so we should continue to observe COVID-19 protocols and be safe. Amidst the continuation of this pandemic, with widespread sickness and sadness around here in Trinidad and Tobago and around the world, it is important to celebrate events such as this, which can shine some light on our lives in these dark times. At this time, we celebrate the achievements of our top scholars across our Faculty of Law. It is an honour to open this ceremony and reward these students who have excelled despite one of the most difficult times for humanity. Humanity has faced these challenges before. One of the celebrated university scientists in the world, Isaac Newton from the University of Cambridge, where the previous dean, Professor Antoine, completed some of her graduate work. He called his time away due to the then pandemic his annus mirabilis, a year of wonder. And that is how I think we should reflect on these pandemic years. We can take something away from these times. It has allowed us to grow in different ways and develop other skills. However, it does not take away one skill that is needed in life to achieve success, and that is hard work. There are many slogans around hard work, but one I prefer is, the harder you work, the luckier you get. More things will come to you in life when you work harder. Our awardees tonight are all evidence of that. Their success coming from hard work in these troubling times. My message is also to all students. You may have missed out this time, and you may have had different reasons, but don't let it stop you dreaming of and having future success. I did not make the honours board myself, as I combined studies at one stage with working 3 12-hour shifts a week as a kitchen porter, a glamorous name for washing dishes at a hotel. Yet I speak to you today as Dean. Life is a journey, and don't be dismayed because you missed out this year. There will be other opportunities should you work hard. It is also important to achieve a balance in life too. Hard work needs balance in our daily activities. It is important to engage in other activities beyond work, whether it is some exercise, reading fiction, the movies, swimming at the beach, meeting friends, or what I've been told is very popular here, liming. It is very helpful to switch your mind off for a while and ensure that you relax. When you do go to do that hard work, then you will be more efficient about it. For the students tonight, all of you, you have achieved success. I hope that it inspires you to reach it again. Go higher, keep rising. I hope it fills you with belief, with faith in yourself that you can achieve your goals when you put your mind into it. Given the tough circumstances with which you've accomplished this success, I hope you take several things away from this. That for you, it's a moment for life, and one that you can fall back on in the future and use it to restore faith in your own ability. For every student, whether an awardee or not, to see your peers achieve success should inspire you to achieve your own. Life, as I said, is a journey. Your journey can start and/or continue from now. Putting your feet under the study desk can begin tomorrow, and hard work can be rewarded. You can then be celebrating come June time. Success this term is achievable. It is never too late to begin your journey. So have faith in yourself. Remember, not every day has to be a good day, and you will get more consistent over time in working hard. Your journey as a lawyer is under your control. I hope from within your hearts you can see and be happy for your classmates who today are receiving these awards for their hard work. It is always exciting to see students celebrate and be happy in achieving success. That passion for law that you have that comes across from you, and also the search for justice that burns within your heart, which no doubt inspired you to study law and want to be a lawyer in the first place. And I hope that search for justice remains a cornerstone of your legal journeys. In that context, we have a guest speaker tonight who has had a career that to me demonstrates that the search for justice was a foundational element to it. I would like to thank our guest speaker, Ms. Roberta Clarke, for accepting our invitation to speak tonight. She is a human rights specialist, and in particular on human rights and socio-economic rights. She has had a great career to date, being a UE and Oxford graduate, subsequently working as an attorney, and more recently holding several big positions at the United Nations. I thank her in advance for presenting today, and I hope you all enjoy it very much. Finally, I hope you enjoy this production, and thank you to those who assisted in its production, led by Alicia Phillips. And thanks to all the academic and administrative staff for all their work in enabling us to come to the point today where we can give out these awards and share a great evening together. As some of you enter your final term and others meet each other for the first time this term, I hope you all connect and build your networks and continue the pathway to achievement, to success, to rewarding future legal careers. Lastly, to those awardees, I hope you raise a glass, eat well with either some friends and family to celebrate these awards. Every time you achieve success, you should enjoy it. You should savor it. Embrace it. It will be memorable, and it will also taste sweeter every time. So you should keep coming back for more. Congratulations all.
Thank you, Professor Hefferon. We are truly proud of our awardees here this evening. To keep the momentum going, let's welcome our first performer and TikTok star, Joshua Regrello, a former student who will be performing on the steel pan, Far From Finished from Voice.
Thank you, Joshua. Now I'm very pleased to welcome, to bring the featured address for this evening's proceedings, Miss Roberta Clarke. Ms. Clarke is an activist for social justice and gender equality, and is a commissioner of the Inter-American Commission for Human Rights for the period 2022 to 2025. She is also the chair of the Harassment Committee of the Caribbean Court of Justice, the president of the Coalition Against Domestic Violence, Trinidad and Tobago, and the chair of the Barbados Population Commission. She sits on a number of boards, including currently the interim board of directors for the Nobel Women's Initiative. She also has led UN Women regional offices in East and Southern Africa, Libya, Asia, and the Pacific and the Caribbean. Until December 2021, she was the chair, Executive Committee, International Commission of Jurists. Prior to her career at the United Nations, she practiced as a lawyer in Trinidad and Tobago and also worked with the Caribbean Association for Feminist Research and Action. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Ms. Roberta Clarke to bring the featured address.
Greetings. I want to thank the Faculty of Law and especially Professor Raphael Hefferon and Dr. Arif Bulkan for their invitation to me to present at this prize-giving ceremony. My message to you today, students, is that understanding and using the law is empowering. It is also a powerful tool for personal development and positive social change. And I want to urge you to commit to understanding not just the law, but the social relations and the social structure within which the law operates. We, us in the Caribbean, we are a scarred community, scarred by our history and legacies of enslavement, indentureship, genocide, and colonialism. In some ways, it is a history that has weakened us. It has weakened our cultural confidence, left us with poverty, inequalities, intolerances, discriminatory laws, and attitudes still. But it has also left us resilient and strong. We are often a joyful people. We build on the survival and resistance of those before us. We build on their resolve for more opportunities for more people and for more fair, non-discriminatory, and peaceful societies. I start off with this because it is my view that we all have the moral obligation to work for this more fair, just, and equal society. We all have the responsibility to act within our spheres of influence in ways that can repair the harms that our people suffer, whether those harms are insecurity, violence, poverty, inequalities, discrimination, and indeed underdevelopment. We must all account each other for being kind, open-minded, and big-hearted. And so I started my academic life in social sciences, and those studies gave me a framework to understand our histories and their meanings for contemporary life. That field of study allowed me to understand the societal organizations, including the organizing of legal systems, are expressions of dominant and competing political interests. Social sciences helped me to understand better unequal power dynamics and inequalities based on gender, sex, race, class, sexual orientation, and even geography that are observed in families and communities in the pages of our newspapers as they commented on social affairs. Social sciences encouraged me to reflect on the mutual influences that individuals and societies have on one another and how history shapes us. It is, as said by Karl Marx in this famous quote, men, he said men, but I want to say people, make their own history, but they do not make it as they please. They do not make it under self-selected circumstances, but under circumstances existing already, given and transmitted from the past. Marx said, the tradition of all dead generations weighs like a nightmare on the brains of the living. And so we need to understand the past, our individual and collective past, to get our bearings on the present and to plan what needs to be done for better futures. For those of us who pursue social sciences, it is often with a view of being involved in social engineering and social transformation. Armed with understanding of our countries, our communities, one's arsenal for change is expansive. They include advocacy, research, policy formulation, lobbying, for example. Social policies alert to the inequalities that are at the heart of our Caribbean, animated the move for universal education and universal primary health care. And so we have much to thank social policies for. Yet still, law beckoned me, and it is a call I answered, and it has enriched my life immeasurably. The learning and practice of law strengthened my problem identification and problem-solving skills. The learning and practice of law strengthens one's ability to listen, to focus, to concentrate, to empathize, and to discriminate in the sense of knowing what matters and what does not. The learning and practice of law is also a tool of social change. The change can be immediate, it can impact on people in real time, and because of our system of precedent, it can impact on a whole range of people well beyond the person in whose name a matter has been commenced. The study and the practice of law expanded my horizons as well as my toolkit to engage in what I call social engineering. From equity, I got a way to articulate a range of obligations for justice and fairness beyond legal formalities, beyond what was written on paper. Think of how revolutionary the idea of resultant trust was for married women in times when women's names hardly appeared on title deeds. From tort, we get the sparkling language that speaks to our mutual responsibilities for those so close to us that they can be affected by our actions, whether we intend that or not. To our proverbial neighbor, we are called upon to do no harm, to be mindful about what is likely to happen as a result of our actions. And here's the famous quote, which one of my most beloved quotes in law. Who then in law is my neighbor? The answer seems to be persons who are so closely and directly affected by my act that I ought reasonably to have them in contemplation as being too affected when I'm directing my mind to the acts or omissions which are called in question. The snail in the bottle case, you know what it is. And what about the notion of vicarious liability? Our obligations to take care can extend to ensuring that those with whom we have particular relations, for example in employment, must also take care. And employers can be held legally responsible for acts of discrimination or harassment that occur in the workplace or in connection with a person's employment. From public law, from administrative law, we have the foundational idea that state actors have duties to act in accordance with the rule of law, that there are remedies for arbitrary, discriminatory, and unreasonable acts that cause harm and disadvantage to one or many of the citizenry. From contract, the concept of estoppel, which prevents resilience from promises relied upon. I recall the case of Carlisle versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company, which found that an advertisement constituted a binding agreement as the essential elements of a contract were all present. That case is foundational to consumer rights as we understand them now. From constitutional law, we understand that separation of powers is a vital check on concentrated power. The concern for fairness infuses much of law. Think of the elements of natural justice, audi alteram partem, and listening and adjudicating without bias. I was recently reminded of the case of LaSalle versus the Attorney General, a 1971 case, where Justice of Appeal Phillips stated, the concept of due process of law is the antithesis of arbitrary infringement of the individual's rights to personal liberty. You too will have your favorite cases and concepts and dicta. Most recently in the Caribbean, we've had the case of Jason Jones versus the Attorney General from Trinidad and Tobago. And here are the wonderful words of Justice Raphael. He said, to this court, human dignity is a basic and inalienable right recognized worldwide in all democratic societies. Attached to that right is a concept of autonomy and the right of the individual to make decisions for herself or himself without any unreasonable intervention by the state. In a case such as this, she or he must be able to make decisions as to who she or he loves, incorporate in his or her life, who she or he wishes to live with, and with whom to make a family. A citizen should not have to live under the constant threat, the proverbial sword of Damocles, that at any moment she or he may be persecuted or prosecuted. And I think of the case from St. Vincent of Goodrich, where the court acknowledges that as a signatory to the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women and Girls, the state has a duty to protect the interests of the girl child against domestic violence and sexual abuse. So there's no doubt that the study of law gives you a way of thinking about our obligations to each other in both the public and private spheres. These principles, however, are not just principles applicable to legal cases. They're in fact principles of a good life. So be reliable, care for your neighbor, be mindful of the effect your actions and indeed words have on others. Avoid hasty decision-making, especially based on partial information. Do not make decisions affecting the life of another without hearing them first. We are all equal in dignity. So legal policy, legal reform cases have been critical to removing the architecture, the scaffolding of discrimination across the region. And I hope on your journey, you continue that tradition. In the area of gender equality, where I've spent much of my working life, law reform has been critical in protecting women from some forms of employment discrimination, particularly around maternity leave. Family laws recognize cohabitational relations in several countries and secure the rights of spouses who've carried the care burden. Everywhere in the region, we now have domestic violence legislation and an evolving administration of justice around sexual assault. Women have equal rights to transmit their nationality to their children and to their spouses. And so here's the thing, when it goes right, your work matters to a real person in real time. Family lawyers prevent domestic violence, help parties disentangle, and when done well with some modicum of civility, leaving open the possibility of a courteous friendship later down. But I never intended to practice law for long. But in doing so for 7 years, I emerged with such a profound respect for the practice and indeed for practitioners of law. What can they accomplish not only for your client, but for society? Yet court practice can be a blunt instrument for resolving societal crises. And increasingly, I found my attention wandering back into social sciences. And I was fortunate to fall into a job with the UN system. And in that space, saw that there was much opportunity for people doing work at the crossroads of law and social policy. Over the years, working within with the UN system, and in particular with UN Women, we have been able to think through and strengthen the accountability of the legal system in the treatment of domestic violence, advocate for labor protection for domestic workers. We worked on sexual harassment legislation, worked on non-discriminatory access to HIV treatment and care, supported police and prosecutors to increase forensic skills and commitment to a more effective response to gender-based violence. So a lot of work accomplished, but still to be done in the area of legal policy. In all of these areas, we have a marriage between legal skills and social analysis. And it is, I would say, an exciting place to be situated. That has been my journey. You will have yours. You are living in a time of existential crises, and it must be tempting to fall into the abyss, the black hole of pessimism and even nihilism. Nothing matters, but we all have to resist that. Our times now demand optimism. We must be hopeful. We must have the confidence that we can change the world, at least our world. Our actions must matter. I urge you all to get involved. Be curious about the world. Read, question everything. Think of solutions and do not be reluctant to offer them. Do try to be and make the change you want to see in the world. In closing, I offer you my 5 Ps, feminist activism that guide my life. The first P, partnership. We cannot do it alone. Build and join communities of solidarity. Persistence. Changing culture takes time, but start with yourself. Make sure that your actions are aligned with your principles and just do your part. Persuasion. You can change others by your words and your deeds. Speak up, act. Pressure. Power does not give up without a fight. Be brave and find the people and spaces where you think with effort you can influence. Expect resistance, that's part of the process, but do not be deterred. And my final P, patience. Again, resist cynicism. Changing minds and attitudes requires strategies and can take time. Just do your part. Be gentle with yourself. So go out there, change the world. You certainly can, and in fact, you have to. Thank you very much.
Now, wasn't that a captivating speech? Thank you, Ms. Clarke, for that inspirational address. In the spirit of things, let's award some prizes.
First Class Awards. Our First Class awardees for this year are those students who attained a GPA of 3.6 and above. They are Kaleem Ali, Megan Gopal Singh, Akish Hira, Angelina Ramlal, Malcolm Superville, Jessica Zuta.
Now on to our LLM postgraduate students who have all graduated with distinction. Rudyard Davidson, LLM in Corporate and Commercial Law with distinction. Hannah Hilton Edwards, LLM in Public Law with distinction. Rondell Keller, LLM in Corporate and Commercial Law with distinction. We are truly honored that you chose to pursue your LLM qualification at the UWI St. Augustine campus. Thank you and congratulations.
On to those students who have earned a 3.6 and above GPA for the respective semesters and who have been placed on the Dean's Roll of Honor. For Semester 1, our Year 1 students: Jonathan Alpuche, Dionys Dogan, Marielle Garcia, Cleange Mohan, Renee Ramsarup, Melanie Richards, Beyonce Watts. Our Year 2 students: India Abdul, Christian Ali, Priya Bahadur, Chantel Bihari, Kenya Brooks, Michaela Sharon, Jalea Clark, Renelle Cook, Dana Dipchan Singh, Kazim Flery, Jaren Francis, Alejandro Gocking, Sharice Hiraman, Sherry Hines, Sadiqa Hussein, Angel Jagannath, Brittany Kasinath, Kerryanne Manichan, Narissa Naidu, Amira Ramdas, Michaela Ramirez, Samantha Ramkisoon, Ariana Ramnarain, Hiran Rampasad, Enrique Singh, Rihanna Singh, Aniko Suku, Jaylene Squires, Malcolm Superville.
Our Year 3 students: Kaleem Ali, Vashni Dipchan, Akinola Goodrich, Subhash Hansraj, Akish Hira, Ciara Majad Singh, Nicholas Myers, Nishad Mohammed, Aaron Morales, Ravina Nandlal, Samantha Olivier, Ranessa Raghunanan, Angelina Ramlal, Brian Sukdev, Errol Williams, Jessica Zuta.
For Semester 2, our Year 1 students: Tyler Alexander, Rondell Cato, Kyra Charles, Crystal Leigh Das, Vernell Dipchan, Dionys Dogan, Marielle Garcia, Justin Gibbons, Vinaya Gosain, Yama Indar Singh, Sasha Lore, Liana Lachman, Alina Mohammed, Genevieve Mohammed, Ricky Moses, Vishal Prasad, Nyla Pompey, Aditi Ragbir, Ronaldo Ramkisoon, Renee Ramsarup, Melanie Richards, Orlando Rogers, Sapphire Rupnarain, Reese Sankar, Leanne Thomas, Beyonce Watts.
Our Year 2 students: Chanel Bihari, Kazim Flery, Jaron Francis, Alejandro Gocking, Sadiqa Hussein, Angel Jagannath, Nicholas Leonard, Kerryanne Manichan, Nicholas Myers, Ravina Nandlal, Clarissa Rambran, Hiran Ramprasad, Enrique Singh, Aniko Suku, Jaylene Squires, Nia Sabero.
Our Year 3 students: Kaleem Ali, Shiva Baliram, Renee Brown, Suan Diosaran, Marissa Diaz, Adam Fernandez, Samantha Frost, Akinola Goodridge, Megan Gopal Singh, Jada Gordon, Subhash Hansraj, Akesh Hira, Nakia Henville, Jean-Luc Julien, Chantel Lake, Nirupa Mahadev, Shania Maharaj, Ciara Majad Singh, Nishad Mohammed, Malena Mohammed, Shania Mohammed, Aaron Morales, Ashley Motilal, Chelsea Nandlal, Mariah Nembad Santana, Dariel Neptune, Samantha Olivier, Renisa Ragunanan, Angelina Ramlal, Devi Ramnarayan, Annalisa Ramsaran, Malcolm Superville, Afisha Williams, Jessica Zuta. Congratulations to all our Dean's Honor Roll students. Keep up the outstanding work.
Most Outstanding Awards. Now on to our Most Outstanding Student Awards. For the Most Outstanding Student Level 1, we have a tie between Mariel Garcia and Beyonce Watts with a GPA of 3.86. For the Most Outstanding Student Level 2, we have Kazim Fleury with a GPA of 3.94. For our Most Outstanding Level 3 student, we have Angelina Ramlal with a GPA of 4.12. Now on to our Most Outstanding Direct Entry student. For those of you who don't know, direct entry means that instead of completing the LLB in 3 years, you complete it in 2 years. Our Most Outstanding Direct Entry student for this year goes to Melanie Richards with a GPA of 3.99. Congratulations to all of our awardees.
Now to shake things up a bit, let's welcome Sushmita Maharaj, who is a second-year student. Sushmita has been an Indian dancer for the past 13 years. The dance being performed was choreographed by her and describes the creation of Lord Rama. It explains beautifully the significance and need for the Lord by his worshippers and treasured consort Sita Devi. Rama is the Vishnu incarnate and Sita the Lakshmi one. Vishnu and Lakshmi are the protectors of the universe and of natural law, also known as Dharma. This means that the union of Rama and Sita is more than just any typical marriage. They are here to teach us what is right in terms of how the cosmos should function. They are here to model Dharma, to be an example of positivity and righteousness. Take it away, Sushmita.
रघुकुल रीत सदा चली आई, प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए। तदिया नदी दर तना दे रे नो, तदिया नदी दर तना
In the spirit of appreciation, let us award firstly the Students' Choice Award. This year, the Students' Choice Award was sponsored by the Law Society, and it goes to Jada Gordon.
Every year we thank our Law Society executive members. As a faculty, we believe that it provides students not only with a voice, but opportunities for leadership development and a balance between study and leisure. We say thank you to our Law Society Executive 2020-2021. Our President, Kaleem Ali. Vice President, Aaron Chuni Singh. Treasurer, Mishon Pisad.
Secretary, Vasha Singh. Public Relations Officer, Kayla King James. Charity and Outreach Committee Chair, Chelsea Nandlal. Constitutional Committee Chair, Malcolm Superville. Education and Moot Committee Chair, Errol Williams. Entertainment Committee Chair, Adia Tilak Singh. Publications Committee Chair, Denisha Monroe. Sports Committee Chair, Lemar Williams. Assistant Secretary, Adam Fernandez. Returning Officer, Kazim Fleury. Deputy Returning Officer, Jalea Clarke. Trustee, Aaron Morales. Deputy Trustee, Brandon Ragunanan. Regional and International Students Committee Chair, Maria Nembad Santana. Independent Officer, Candice Bernard. Year 1 Representative, Kyra Charles. Year 2 Representative, Hiran Rampasad. Year 3 Representative, Jada Gordon. Once again, thank you for your service.
Okay, now let's hear from Kaleem Ali to bring the student remarks. Kaleem?
Dean of the Faculty of Law, Professor Raphael Hefferon, Deputy Deans, Dr. Justin Koo, and Dr. Timothy Alfonso, members of staff, specially invited guests, graduates, awardees, good evening. I have been asked to offer the student reply for today's proceedings on behalf of the class of 2021. It is both my honor and privilege to not only pay homage to our second home, but to also address and hopefully inspire members of the future graduating classes. How would I sum up the past 3 years? I don't think that I can actually put it into words. However, I believe that the following extract from Dickens summarizes it best. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. What a time it was indeed. These past 3 years have tested us, pushed us beyond our limits and boundaries, and forced growth to shape us into the people we are today, right here in this moment. I don't think that anyone sitting here today could have contemplated that we would have spent more than 2 years in a pandemic marked by lockdowns, curfews, sickness, and death. It truly has been a dark time indeed. Yet, here we are today, celebrating life, accomplishments, and memories spanning 3 years, a fitting silver lining in the darkness that has surrounded us over the past few years. It reminds me of the saying, the brightest flowers bloom after the coldest winters. Some say that there is no definition for the term success, given that success is subjective to us all. However, I think that I have found a meaning for success that may resonate with us all. Success is the byproduct of the marriage between hard work and sacrifice. Success is not simply given or received, it is earned. one must always be cognizant of the fact that to truly reap the reward and satisfaction of success, we must put in the work and often engage in a trade-off. All of you have done just that. And now, today, you bask in success. It is critical that we carry this definition of success with us wherever we land, if we hold steadfast to that formula for success, we will always achieve that which we set out to do. As we move on to the next phases of our lives, whether in legal practice, academia, or elsewhere, I urge you to enter that phase with the same dedication, drive, ambition, and passion that would have gotten you this far. Success is yours for the taking. Your resilience and continued excellence during a global pandemic serves as testimony to that fact. I have no doubt that wherever you land, you will thrive. Remember to be relentless in your pursuit of excellence. As we join the network of UE alumni, the time has come for us to undertake the next assignment, being game changers. It is now our time to enter society, endowed with the tools instilled in us by the faculty to challenge, reshape, and redefine the status quo, to change the game for the better and rebuild a more promising and brighter future. The job is ours, and I believe that we are not only capable, but are also ready for this next phase. Now is the time for the class of 2021 to leave its mark not just on the Caribbean, but on the world and in the pages of history. Looking forward to the future also requires one to reflect on the past. And I cannot help but remember my first day at the faculty, where our then Dean, Professor Rosemary Bell-Antwine, cautioned us that the 3 years at the faculty would pass by quickly. She was right. It is still difficult for me to accept that we would have completed half of our degrees online due to the pandemic. I do not think any of us here today could have had the level of success we enjoy in this moment without the hard work of the faculty staff, the dean, deputy deans, lecturers, tutors, and of course, the cadre of seasoned and competent professionals that make up the faculty's administrative team, all of whom played a critical role in molding us into the progressive, critical thinkers that we are today. I must also say thank you to the members of the Law Society, who I have also had the privilege to serve with for their valiant and fearless advocacy in representing the needs of our students at all levels. Our Law Society has always been a pillar of good student governance, and I have utmost faith in all its successors. As I stand here today, addressing you for what is our second virtual ceremony, I can only hope that this is the last faculty award ceremony celebrated in this modality. My hope is that by this time next year, we would have returned to some level of normalcy so that you may once again experience this event in person. In closing, I would like to express my gratitude to the faculty for this opportunity, the organizers of this event for once again putting together a seamless event, the members of staff, and all persons invited and looking on from wherever you are in the world here with us today. Awardees and graduates, I take this final moment to once again congratulate you. I wish you the best of luck moving forward. Do continue to be safe during these uncertain times. Take care of yourself and others, and pour love into any room that you enter. Now, more than ever, we need to show empathy and consideration for those around us. Thank you to the graduating class of 2021. Do have a good night.
Thank you, Kaleem. Next, we have another performance from the talented Joshua Regrello. Everyone, get ready to chip.
Isn't he an amazing performer? Always so energetic and vibrant. Thank you, Joshua. Let's end this evening's proceedings with your current Law Society president, who needs no introduction, but nonetheless, let's welcome him, Hiran Rampasad.
Good evening, everyone. All protocols observed. I am Hiran Rampasad, president of the UWI St. Augustine Law Society and Faculty of Law representative to the Guild of Students for this year. I've been given the privilege to look back and express gratitude to all who would have made today's event successful. Firstly, our sincerest gratitude to campus administration and its organs for providing us with a platform to complete our educational pursuits and supporting our holistic growth. Thank you for your willingness to assist us in any and all requests. Next, I wish to specifically thank current Dean of the Faculty of Law, Professor Raphael Hefferon. Professor Hefferon, though our time together has been short as of yet, I commend the actions that you have taken and committed to for the members of this faculty. It is my hope, and dare I say my knowledge, that with such measures in place, our student body will be equipped to make even more meaningful contributions to society, and that events such as this can celebrate even more of our students. It would be remiss of me then to neglect to acknowledge our interim dean, Dr. Arif Balkan. Dr. Balkan stepped up to the plate amidst a challenging time for this faculty, a time of real transition. But Dr. Balkan, rather than merely tiding things over, was able to establish systems and refine aspects of the cumbersome procedural challenges inherent of being a UWI student. A short time with us as dean, but meaningful and impactful nevertheless. I must then, of course, thank Professor Rosemary Bellantoine. Professor Bellantoine is, for many of us, the dean who welcomed us and cautioned us as the justice story that the law is a jealous mistress wanting all of our time. But she also told us that the LLB was a time to work and play hard. And she told us that all the while she created and played such a pivotal role in making St. Augustine's Faculty of Law the very best institution to do the LLB in the Commonwealth Caribbean. And trust me, has no cap. Professor Bellantoine, for your tutelage and your vision, a sincerest and most heartfelt thank you. Our deans have been ably assisted by their deputies, namely Dr. Timothy Alfonso, Deputy Dean of Undergraduate Affairs, and Dr. Justin Koo, Deputy Dean of Graduate Affairs and Outreach. Be it answering our at times ridiculous questions or rehashing that bursary is really and truly the only body that can remove an AR hold. Thank you for your patience and your diligence. Next, I must thank the most illustrious members of all of our teaching staff. You dutifully prepare our course content and you help us navigate what at first seems so confusing, so insurmountable, yet by the very end, we're able to understand principles that help us to navigate the law. Teaching staff, wait not for your ability to instruct, guide, and counsel. Well, today's celebrations would be fiction. Special mention must be made of our administrative and ancillary staff, Mrs. Ali, Ms. Phillips, Ms. Hodge, Ms. Bridgemohan, Ms. Paul. Our gratitude for your timeliness and hands of guidance when we are particularly distraught, and for your efforts in ensuring the success of today's events. Finally, and dare I say, most importantly, thank you, members of the student body. You continue to put your best foot forward amidst the challenges and pains of the pandemic, alongside the LLB, maybe the most stressful degree in the world. I'm sure our med friends might have something to say about that. While all of our stories as to how we have been able to success may vary, I know one thing, and that is that each of us here embodies the motto of the University of the West Indies. We have proven ourselves to be lights rising from the West. So continue to shine. Go forth and continue to shine. And I beg your continued involvement and perhaps even a renewed commitment to making your time here at St. Augustine's Faculty of Law the very best. I thank you.
To end this aspect of the program, we have a special treat for you. Let's welcome Joshua Regallo and Shushmita Maharaj performing Jahaji Bai. Now, although that we are finished with the formal aspect of the ceremony, I would like to invite you all to open your token bags, grab your glasses and wine, and click the link below for the virtual Toast with the Dean.